Hello, everyone. Hope you are well. Today I invited Gautam back to speak about the monthly transit. There's a lot going on in September, and I'm sure you all know who Gautam Kamboj is anyway, but I will leave it to him and we will discuss the month of September, which is jam-packed with some very interesting transits, right? What do you think?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
there's so much for every ascendant. So yeah, we'll
Yeah.
discuss. But yeah, thank you so much, Anita. Thanks for the invite. It's always nice, always so pleasant to be here on your channel and discuss Vedic astrology, planetary transits, and many. We have done many videos in the past and touched on many interesting subjects in the Vedic astrology spectrum. So it's always nice. Thanks. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
All right.
Right.
So,
So today in this video, we are going to discuss about each and every ascendant from Aries ascendant to Pisces ascendant. How will be the month of September? What are the planetary transits which are happening in the month of September? So we will dive deep into every ascendant and try to get the reading for every ascendant. All right.
yeah, let's do it.
And if you have any questions, like all the viewers, please feel free to comment in the comment box. Make sure you hit the like button, all right, and share this video with all your friends and family. That will be much appreciated. It really helps us and support our work so that we get more inspired, more motivated by your support, all the viewers, all the subscribers. So thank you so much for that. Let's quickly start with the
Yeah.
risings.
Yeah. Thanks, Gautam. Yeah.
Yeah. So September is here.
Yeah. It's here.
And let's start with the very first ascendant, which is our Aries ascendant, Aries rising, the number one in the Lagna, in the ascendant. So a lot happening because Saturn is retrograde and Saturn continues to retrograde till November. But somewhere in September, it's the speed of the planet Saturn eh, in retrograde is getting very fast. So speed of planets do matter.
Yeah.
You know, how speedy they are during the retrograde time or when they get stationed. So right now it's in the full reverse speed and at its peak speed.
Yeah.
And November 22nd, the retrograde will get over and it will get stationed for a week or two and then it will get direct. So for Aries rising, Saturn is in the 12th house. Uh, there is going to be some sort of health related things. You have to be very careful. All the Aries rising people have to be very careful with your health, and specifically your eighth house lord is also in the sixth house. So as you see on the screen, this is the Aries ascendant. The planetary positions in this picture is for the 1st of September, is for the
Yeah.
September the 1st. So why I took September the 1st this time is Sun is going to enter into the sign of Virgo somewhere mid September, 14th, 13th,
Yeah.
14th, somewhere. So the Sun is the first half of the September, Sun is in Leo. Second half of the September, Sun is going to be the sign of Virgo. And whenever we do transit readings or monthly readings, so we have to look at all the planets, specifically Sun, because Sun transits in every house, every ascendant for a month. So Saturn is in your 12th house. Mars is going to enter into the 7th house, which is going to give a little relief in the second half of the September. But the major reading for Aries ascendant is that the first half you have to be little careful with your health. Sun, Mercury, Ketu is in the 5th house right now in the sky for Aries ascendant. And that's the reason of your creativity. You're thinking, new ideas are coming to your mind, and you are getting some sort of out of the box ideas, thinking. Some days, specifically September 1st, to September 9th or 10th, you will be also facing like mood swings or mood emotional changes happening very quickly. The reason is Ketu, the south node, is at 24° in the sign of Leo, and Sun is also approaching the south node. So Sun and south node will be exactly together somewhere around September 10th or 11th, around that time. And that's why we call it as a lunar eclipse. So there are two eclipses which are happening: lunar eclipse followed by solar eclipse. So whenever there is a lunar eclipse, there is always a solar eclipse, right? 15 days after that. But they are very partial, very mild in this month, and will have no much of impact, or it's as the
Yeah,
last.
what do you think about the solar eclipses for Aries? I mean, do you think that they will be positive? Because the first one is happening in the 11th house, right? The second one is happening in the 6th house. So what do you think? I think these eclipses are okay. They're not the big stirring, life-changing ones. I don't think so. Especially the
Mhm.
first one is getting Jupiter's aspect, and I don't think that they're going to be causing too much havoc. This is what I feel.
Absolutely. I also, that's why I told that this
Yeah.
one, this month it's very, very mild, very light, and will almost have like no impact on any zodiac sign. So we are good. We are good for the month of only the day when it is happening.
Yeah.
That day, specifically the Aries ascendant might feel low on energy, or some sort of like mood swing or restlessness or some anxiety for Aries ascendant specifically. Venus enters the fifth house in the second half. It's going to be very good for relationship related, family harmony, relationship. Family is going to come together for Aries ascendant. It's a good time. Overall planetary combinations are very good. Rahu is in the 11th house. It will create some sort of income opportunities from friends, collaborations, from like multiple sources, basically. So Aries ascendant, a good month for finance, good month for love, relationships, family, not a good month for health. So please take care of your health in the month of September. And yeah, so overall looks good for the Aries rising. I really like the Jupiter aspect on the 11th house,
Yeah.
the ninth house, and on the 7th house.
Yeah.
So that's very good that Jupiter is aspecting your ninth house, the house of luck, fortune, religious, spiritualness.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing that Jupiter is still aspecting the ninth house. So you're lucky. Jupiter aspects the 11th house also. That's also, good. And Jupiter is aspecting the 11th house, which is ruled by Saturn. And guess where Saturn is? Saturn is in Jupiter's house in Pisces. So that's the combination which looks really very good to me. And the ninth and the 11th house is going to be very strong for the Aries ascendant, which will increase business, income opportunities, job opportunities in September.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a good time to network, to reconnect with friends, to go out there, just be social. Yeah.
Absolutely. Venus is in the fifth house. In the second half of the September, Rahu still continues to be in the 11th house. Very good time for family reunite, friends. Yeah, that's a good month. A pleasant month overall for Aries. So let's start with the Taurus rising, or do you have any input, Anita?
Yeah, no, I think that's good. Just excuse me for a minute, but carry on. Let's move to Taurus.
All right, so let's start with the Taurus.
Mm.
Taurus rising. So the number two, Taurus is going to have a lot of impact coming in specifically from the career perspective. The reason is Rahu is in the 10th house. Rahu is in the 10th house. So that's going to have certain, uh, career tensions or some sort of like incompatibility issues with your boss, with your managers is visible in the month of September. Saturn is also in the 11th house. So it's good for people who are retired or who are who are senior citizens. For them, Saturn in the 11th house, Taurus ascendant is going to be okay. However, if you're working professional, Rahu is in the in the 10th house for you. That's typically not a very good sign for people who are working professionals. That would create some sort of problems. Need to be also be very careful with Mars entering the 6th house from September the 13th. Mars will be in your 6th house for Taurus rising. And what I see is Mars is going to create a good kickstart for the students because September is the month when in the United States and in Canada, it's the students go back to school. So back to school starting is going to be a very good kickstart for the students. Will be very energetic, and specifically if your kids or if your kid is Taurus rising, then it's going to be very good for your child too. Work pressure, as you see, Mars in the 6th house will again create a lot of work pressures. Income will be okay for you. Sun, Mercury, Ketu is entering in the 5th house for you guys, from 4th to 5th house. That is going to bring in some sort of changes in your work environment. Specifically, Ketu still is in the 4th house for the entire September, but Sun and Mercury will enter the 5th. So Ketu is going to get some sort of like unexpected expenses, or your home is going to become very spiritual. You would feel very spiritual. Anita is the expert for the excess. So what do you think? Ketu in the 4th house, Rahu 10th house, Taurus rising. What do you think?
Ketu in the fourth, I mean, Taurus would have definitely had a very difficult time with that Ketu Mars conjunction happening there in Leo, right? It could have brought health issues, it could have brought issues with your mental state. You would have been agitated, could have been fights at home. That's difficult in the fourth house. But now we have Sun Ketu, right? Now Mars Ketu has been replaced by Sun Ketu. Again, difficult, right? It's difficult. It creates disharmony in the immediate environment, in the domestic environment. It creates sudden changes that you weren't expecting. It could have to do with your mother. It could have to do with your place where you're dwelling, or some property issue can come up that and it's a
Mhm.
surprise, right? You don't see it coming because I would say neither Mars or Sun are benefic planets for Taurus, right? So
Mhm.
it's not something that you would sort of look forward to. Fourth house Ketu, anyway, can have you feeling a little bit disillusioned with your domestic situation. Like some people could be thinking about, leaving their home and going elsewhere, moving. There could be lack of support with the people that you live with when you have Ketu in the fourth house.
Mhm.
There can be just a feeling of restlessness and agitation, just like the lack of mental peace. Basically, lack of mental peace, right? Ketu sitting in Leo in the fourth house. Now, because the sun is there, it can, things can get, it can be more aggravated. But once the
Mhm.
sun leaves, I think Taurus ascendants will feel a lot less pressurized because Ketu is very subtle. When it comes to the shadow planets, it's very subtle energy, right? It just depends
Mhm.
on if there's another planet there, it's really problematic with the nodes, right? Because the nodes are shadows that are just expanding the energy of the planet that they sit with. So if that planet is, Venus and it's like Rahu and Venus and sitting in Libra, great. We like that expansion, but here the expansion we don't want. We don't want to create more disharmony in the domestic environment. So they will feel the relief when Sun moves on, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the month of October will be much better for Taurus, but September there's gonna be definitely some pressure at work. I mean, at work as well as at home.
Yeah, especially at work, definitely, because there's an eclipse happening there also, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
In the 10th house. They have an eclipse happening there. Then we have the eclipse in the fifth. So there is some agitation with the 410 axis, definitely. I mean, it's and as we talked about in our video when we talked about the nodal axis in different houses, we're talking about Kendra houses here. So when they get when they are hosting the nodes, it makes life a little bit more chaotic, right? Like there can be events that basically shake up your foundation, and nobody likes that, right? I mean, but if you're one of those people who have been waiting for the opportunity to shake up your foundation, because sometimes we need to shake up the foundation so that we can make a change, we can start a new chapter, we can leave the past behind. Well, this is the time, right? And it can happen in your domestic sphere, or certainly it could happen in your career life as well, right?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so
Interesting month for Taurus.
yeah.
So let's start with the third rising, which is our Gemini rising. So as you can see on the screen, the transit of planets happening in very strongly. Jupiter is in the first house, aspecting the fifth, seventh, and ninth. It's going to be good for um, good guidance in relationships, specifically. Good time for Gemini rising. Specifically, Mars is also entering in the fifth house very soon in September. Uh, that is going to, that's some tensions at home early, but later there is going to be some, good time with kids, with the family, specifically September 15th to September 30th is going to be a good time overall for family. Because Sun and Mercury are also entering in the fourth house. Mercury is going to come back to its own house, like Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo. So Mercury is coming in the fourth house is going to be good time for the family. Good time for education, specifically for people who want to learn something new. It's a good time because your ascendant lord is going to be in the fourth house and exalted. Mercury is going to get exalted in the fourth house. So definitely family wise, there will be good focus on home, family, some property matters. Good time for auspicious time for buying, selling of house or some tangible assets. Venus is right now in the second house, uh, then moves to third house. So that's going to be something very fancy, very creative related to communications, and short distance travels are also there on the card. With Jupiter in the first house in Gemini and Venus in the third house. So there's going to be some travels. Rahu in the ninth, Ketu in the third, spiritual restlessness, definitely need for a balanced decision, because Rahu in the ninth, there could be some emotional disturbances or lack of decision making happening in September. So just please take
Yeah.
care about, need to have that balanced decision overall.
Yeah, definitely. Uh,
Financially looks good. Venus is right now in the second house for 15 days and then will move. So financially looks overall okay.
mm. I think Gemini is having good transits overall.
Gemini is definitely having good transits overall, because this is the month when Gemini is going to have maximum planets in the Kendra Sthan. First house, fourth house, 10th house. 1, 4, 7, 10. Kendra Sthan. Jupiter is in the first. Sun, Mercury will be in the fourth. Saturn in the 10th. So, like, now 4 planets are, and Moon is also going to be there in the 10th house. So like 5 planets will be in the Kendra. So that's good. I mean, kids who will be new kids, which will be born in September, will be very blessed with good
Uh-huh.
planetary combinations.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think the eclipse on the later in the month, the 21st, I think it is, that can be a little bit disturbing for Gemini. Though again, as we said, these are not very terribly onus. They're not very sort of chaotic eclipses this season, this September.
Yeah,
But just be watchful at that time. There will be a feeling of out of sorts and restlessness and towards the end of the month when this is happening in they could some people could be moving once and for all, right? Because eclipses have been happening for Gemini in their fourth house for a while now. So this is the last one, and you could very well be moving on to a new chapter in your home life or your career life. A new job could be starting. You could be moving into a new place. So
absolutely, absolutely. Because the 6th house lord is Mars, and that is entering the 5th house. So definitely it's going to be interesting for people who are working professionally.
yeah,
Then comes is the 4th rising, which is the Cancer ascendant, Cancer rising. Cancer rising, again, the planets are out of the Kendra Sthana, but still overall all okay. Need to be very careful because Rahu is in the 8th house, and Cancer rising people should not take any risk, any adventurous risk or adventurous sports or something. Need to be very careful because Mars is in right now in the 3rd house till the mid of September. That's agitating. That's increasing your courage to take risk, but it will be not a good idea to take risk, specifically financial risk. People who work in the financial sector, like stock markets, or who are dealing very heavily in finances or taking some financial decisions, need to be very careful, specifically from September 14th to September 28th, 29th. That's where the Mars will be, transiting in the 4th house, and need to be careful at that time. Mercury moves to the 3rd house, very comfortable. Mercury gets exalted in the third house with Sun. So that because of Sun, there could be some very harsh speech risk which would be involved. And but it's a Cancer ascendant. Your Lagna Lord will also be, traveling in different houses across the month. So need to be very disciplined in terms of the communications specifically.
yeah. Especially the eighth house eclipse happening.
8th house
Um,
eclipse, yeah.
yeah.
See, Jupiter is in the 12th house. So Cancer rising, Jupiter in the 12th house will be a little, uh, it will create some sort of over expenses also because Jupiter rules the 6th, the ninth,
Yeah.
and it's in the 12th house. So
Yeah. And
looks like,
there's a lack of support. There's a lack of support. You might be feeling like you know, you're on your own, like nobody's sort of looking out for you because there's Jupiter in the 12th, Saturn in the ninth, and Rahu in the eighth, eclipse happening in the third and the eighth houses. So, it's a time to kind of just take it slow.
Mhm.
Just as you said, the communications can be that's an area to be cautious. Yeah, definitely.
Yep. And then comes the 5th ascendant, which is the Leo rising. Leo is ruled by the planet Sun, and Sun is right now in the sign of Leo itself in the 1st house. Very good confidence. Some ego clashes happening with friends and family. Basically, you need some clarity at this moment because you feel like Leo ascendant people would feel that they are doing best. They are, the best version of them, but there could be some ego clash. Ego is at the peak at the moment. So need to somehow balance the ego factor. Mars is in the second house, but will be transiting to the third house. So need to focus on wealth. Again, harsh speech may cause some conflicts with Mars as a rude planet, aggressive planet, and in the house of communication. Venus in the 12th house is okay. Expenses, travels, spiritual pursuits are there, but more than spiritual pursuits, it's going to be fun travel, expenses, some sort of, addiction chances are also stronger with the Venus in the 12th house. Venus is typically comfortable in the 12th because Venus gets exalted in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is typically like the 12th sign. So for Venus, 12th zodiac sign or the 12th house of the chart, both are okay. Both are comfortable. It's going to be fun traveling. Yeah, you would look into your credit card statements in October when you will be like, wow, I spent so much in September. So if you're traveling, you just take care and be in your limits. Rahu in the seventh house, some sort of relationship stress would arise and need for balance. And specifically, seventh house is also somehow they say that it's related to traveling things. And Rahu in the traveling, there could be loss while traveling, like some baggage being lost or some stuffs or some valuable items getting lost while traveling, chances are there. So just take care for that. Or maybe that could be the reason if you lose something and you have to buy again, that could be over expenses due to traveling. So if you connect the dots, it could be one of the reason, either or. So just take care. Yeah, for students, it's going to be good time. Kids who are studying, excellent progress, will be good success in the studies with Jupiter in the 11th house. So that's good.
Yeah. What do you think about the eclipses for Leo? Second house and seventh house, both house of relationships.
Yeah. Second, seventh, again, both for relationships. So there's definitely the first half of the September will be challenging
Yeah. Yeah.
for the family. The second half of the September is going to be challenging with your uh, life partner or the business partner.
Yeah, there's an eclipse happening there, and then we have another one happening on. I think that the eclipse on the 7th can really change your status in a relationship, right? If you're in a relationship and maybe you've just begun a relationship, maybe you've just met, you're just dating, it could go the other way. Maybe you are fed up of a relationship and then you break up. So there's a change in the status of your relationship here. Either you're getting into a more serious commitment or you're letting something go, right? Saturn in the eighth also tells us that, right? There's a change in the status. So you can expect that. But I would say in the first half of the month, like you said, with Mars in the second, that's not a good position for a relationship. That can be tricky. But the second half of the month is much more promising. So if you do want to make some changes in the status of your relationship, wait till the second half of the month, and you will get the results that you are seeking, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Let's see. The next rising is the Virgo rising. Virgo ascendant is getting your Lagna Lord is going to get exalted in the month of September. So, and it's also the Virgo month, like, as per the Western astrology, September is the birth birthday for many Virgo out there, but that's as per the Western astrology date. But coming back to if your ascendant Lord is Virgo, then Sun and Mercury are entering in your first house. that's going to, bring a lot of improvements.
Yeah.
First half is weaker time because right now your ascendant Lord is in the 12th house till September the 13th. So first half need to be careful. There is lack of energy. There is lack of ideas. You are literally like dehydrated, need to rejuvenate your energies, and which will happen between September 14th to September 30th. Focus on your self-care. That would be one of the good remedy. Business, people who are into business may face certain disputes, so avoid any new partnership or risky partnerships at this moment. Eclipse is happening in the sixth house, is going to be the reason why you need to be careful with the, partnerships and health. Sixth house, health may be fragile in early days, so caution is required. That's what. If you connect the dots, Virgo ascendant have to take care of health, self-care in the first half of the month. Second half is going to be fresh, start a good month for everything, most of the thing.
Yeah.
Even like for finances, for relationship, everything in the second half will prove to be a better month for you.
Yeah,
But
I think
first half,
so.
yeah.
Yeah. There, because the second eclipse is happening in your first house.
Mhm.
And it's a new beginning, really. It's a
It's a
new,
new beginning, yeah.
yeah. So it's positive.
Yeah. And second half is the time when again maximum planets will be in the Kendra Sthan.
Yeah.
Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, and Moon in some days. So five planets will be in the Kendra. So that is going to be good in the second half.
Hmm.
The next we have is the balance, the Libra. Libra ascendant. Overall month is some ups and downs, some moderate outcomes are expected. The early month till September 13th is we can expect some good income. But from September 14th to September 30th, financial pressure is possible. Over expenses is also possible because of the Sun and Mercury entering into like maximum planets will be in the 12th house. For love, for relationships, there would be some disagreements because of that eclipse also happening, impacting the fifth house. And people who are in partnership business or family would see some early disputes, which are possible in the first half of the September. If your child is studying, going back to school, need to work on the concentration. That is more important. What do you think about the eclipse for the later half of the month?
I think, as you said, caution needs to be exercised for the first eclipse in
Mm-hmm.
in the fifth house. Um, 11th house, 11th house is packed at the moment. Because you will also have the planets going into your 12th, right? So there could be a sense of like there are things happening behind the scenes that you're not aware of, right? Um, and this is again, you have an eclipse as well in the 12th house. So this is something to be cautious of. Don't make decisions with just half of the information, for example, right? If you're pushed by somebody else or other people to make decisions, take a step back and wait till after the eclipse goes. Like especially the 12th house one at the end of the month, wait till after that dissolves, which is I always say give it a few days here and there. So 3 or 4 days before the eclipse, 3 or 4 days after the eclipse, don't make big decisions. And that applies here for sure because fifth house is also, it's not just our children, right? It's our intelligence, it's our mind. So that, that and the 12th house eclipse also. So there is some disturbance. But as we mentioned before, these are not the kind of eclipses that will cause too much chaos. So it's just a matter of take a deep breath, take it easy, and just don't make big decisions if you can avoid it, right? Because 12th house is loaded in the second half of the month, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So,
Scorpio ascendant. I like this combination. First half is going to be very good because your ascendant, Scorpio ascendant Lord Mars is in the 11th house at the moment. So that's will give some benefits. Uh, September 1st to September 14th, there's going to be very good professional recognition, strong work performance at work. You'll be very busy because Sun and Mercury are also in the 10th house, and the 6th house Lord is in the 11th house, Mars, the ascendant Lord also. So that's a very good for work and professional, it is going to be very good. But when we talk about marriage or relationship, there will be initial conflicts. And with the Jupiter in the 8th house also, Mars will be entering in the 12th house. For relationships specifically, need to be very careful with some sort of aggression coming in with Mars. In the 12th house, there will be some aggression happening in over there. Students, specifically who are in non-technical field, have certain advantage. Students will get very creative in this month of September. Health requires monitoring. Some sort of fluctuations in the health is expected. With Jupiter in the 8th house, there could be some fluctuations related to blood sugar levels, diabetes, sugar, major body glands. So just be careful with that health part. But overall, a very good month for profession, work, and business. Eclipse is happening, but very mild results related to the 10th house. Yeah, Rahu is in the 4th. So there could be some stuffs related to the 4th house Rahu. What do you think?
yeah, ninth lord going into the fourth and forming eclipse. Um, so yeah, I mean, it could be connected to your father, right? There could be some issue there because fourth and ninth are connecting, right? Ninth lord going into the fourth. So some family issue can come up. Health of the father could be delicate. Like, for example, parents could be coming to visit you in your home.
Mhm.
It could be something like that. I think where Scorpio people can feel very agitated this month is the career life can cause some agitation,
Mhm.
because the home life is not harmonious, or there's something going on that is unexpected or out of the blue. Um, but as you said, I think overall this is a good month. This is a strong month for Scorpio. There isn't anything that is alarming at all, like the
Oh,
eclipses and the second eclipse is happening in the 11th house, which is great, actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. We have the Sagittarius ascendant also. And again, for Sagittarius ascendant, there is going to be maximum planetary formation in the Kendra Sthana. Overall, a very fortunate month, good month for family situations. May need some caution, but I feel it's going to be overall okay. Rahu is in the 3rd house, Ketu in the 9th. Uh, this is typically a good position for these planets, Rahu and in the third, Ketu in the ninth. It's going to boost some spiritual. You would get very spiritual in this month. Venus is also right now in the eighth, but will be entering in the ninth. Some possible unexpected expenses are there between September 1 to September 13th because Venus rules the sixth house lord in the eighth house. So some over expenses happening in there. People who are in business and who want to grow the business, there will be good days in the month of September where you can really focus on the business growth, business expansion, specifically expansion from the social media because Rahu is in the third house, the house of social media, online. So if you're like dealing in online business, something, or you want to increase your digital presence, this is the month. This is the right month overall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Students, some ups and downs for students. Need to manage, need to organize. Students and kids have to organize their studies. That will be favoring. But the eclipse will be okay overall, I think. It's not going to impact much for Sagittarius rising.
Yeah, I think I mean, Sagittarius is another sign that's having pretty good transits, isn't it? Jupiter in the seventh, Rahu in the third. We like that. Um, some travel can come up during the eclipse that you didn't foresee. Um, but again, mental health, because Saturn in the fourth is difficult, especially if you're a moon Sagittarius. So just, take time to kind of like for R&R and rest and relaxation and self-care. This is important with that Shani transit. But you have such a supportive Jupiter transit and Rahu that's gonna like that's really kind of pulling the chart
Yeah.
up overall, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Big planets are in favorable position. Big
Yeah.
means slower planets or planets which are in the outer orbit. Jupiter, Saturn. So they are good. Yeah. So we have the 10th rising sign, the Capricorn, ascendants of for Capricorn. Overall month seems to be mixed outcome. Sun, Mercury are right now in the eighth house and will be entering into the ninth house. So some chances of minor accident or some, health related issues are there in the first half of the September. Finance will be okay because Rahu is in the second house. Financial gains are there, but with some potential family stress. Saturn is right now in the third house and will remain in the third house. Need caution in communications and short travels. Reason is Saturn's retrograde at its speed.
Mhm.
Jupiter in the sixth house, very good success at work, specifically professional level. This is a good month. For Capricorn, it's a good month professionally overall, but the only thing need to be careful is the health and the finance. But overall is going to be very moderate, very nice month. Uh, Average month, yeah. Eclipse is again not very impactful, but eclipse can be impactful in financial decisions with uh, the Rahu second, Ketu eighth, and eclipse forming over there. Need to be careful with finance.
Yeah, it could be just a simple thing like you're having a dispute with your partner about where to spend money, right? Like
Mhm.
you're not agreeing with where you allocate your resources. So those are things that can come up. But I agree with you that health can be vulnerable this month. So to be cautious there. Um,
Aquarius rising, the 11th ascendant. Aquarius Lord Saturn is retrograde in the second house, which is okay, not a problem. That's not going to bring any. But the Rahu is in the ascendant, and that is going to boost some sort of over ambitiousness, or you this month you will take some bold decisions. You will get out of your comfort zone now, and Jupiter is in the fifth house, so it's a good time for family, good time for overall, friendships, because the 11th house lord is in the fifth house for Aquarius ascendant. And when 11th is in the fifth, definitely there is some creative ability, creative, fancy things happening in life, and which will be very productive also at this time. For students also, it is very productive time, a very good time in studies, in education. For entrepreneurs, need to be careful just till like September 13th. But if you are signing any major contracts or agreements, then September 14th to September 30th will be good time in some financial and your business decision making. Please drive carefully with your vehicle. Mars is right now in the eighth house. Could be little injury or some sort of health. But Mars is when Mars enters the ninth, will be relief. So first half of the month need to be very careful and drive very careful. So eclipse thing is all okay, I think. Here it's the seventh house, right?
First house eclipse, and then
First,
eighth house. So this, this can you can expect some change. You can there are expect the unexpected. I
mhm,
would say because it's not an easy month for Aquarius, actually.
mhm, mhm.
I think.
Yeah.
But you know what? Jupiter has a protective aspect on the first house.
Mhm.
So Jupiter in the fifth is excellent. So we like that. So
Yeah,
yes, there can be some unpleasant events, but you are protected. Jupiter's aspecting ninth and first.
exactly. 11th house Lord in the fifth, and the fifth from fifth house can uh is aspecting the 11th, the ninth, and the first. So 1, 9, 11 are protected with good drusti, good aspect, and it's a
Yeah,
good protection overall.
yeah.
The last rising sign is the Pisces rising, Pisces ascendant. A successful month overall, with early caution is required in health and finances. Saturn is in Pisces at this moment retrograde. You are losing your self-control, you're losing your concentration and focus. So need to work towards that. Try to, try to organize things, try to make sure that you adhere to your plans and focus there. But the good thing is Venus is in the fifth house. It's definitely going to boost some creativity, some harmony. Jupiter in the fourth house, the house of your home. So it's going to strengthen family bonds, family harmony. For students, is going to be overall a good month. Need to work hard for more better success. Business will be good, like business entrepreneurs overall. Pisces ascendant will see good results. Specifically, if you are in like creative business or something, then you will do very good in the month of September. Now the eclipse is happening in the 12th and the 7th. This is interesting.
Yeah.
12th and 7th. So just need to be cautious with your mood swings when the eclipse is there. Just 2 days before and a day after. Those 4 days are very important. around eclipse to be careful with your health as well as with family partnerships or business partnerships.
Yeah, just tensions. Yeah, it can be, like you mentioned, it can be just tensions with other people
Mhm.
towards the end of the month with that eclipse there. Mars begins the month in the seventh house. So the tension gets, the spark of the anger or the issue or the conflict starts then, and then it culminates when you have that eclipse there on the 21st. So, towards the end of the month, you will be feeling a lot better, but just, I think the first half, first 2, 3 weeks, there can be some tension with other people. It could be with your spouse, for example,
Mhm.
right? So,
Yeah, perfect. So this was a 12th rising and the 13th ascendant. Oh, we don't have 13th. So all the 12 risings are over, and
yeah.
I hope you can watch the video from the start if you're just starting now or you missed any of your ascendant. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for covering all of that. It was actually fun doing it together like that. So,
Yeah.
and I will post this soon. And wishing you a happy September, Gautam.
Wish you too, and wish you everyone a very, very happy September month.
Thank you for
Yeah.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.